And now let her take a call so she can perhaps clarify that.
Sure, I'm happy to take a call and clarify.
Honourable Amy Adams.
Mr Chair,
yes,
thank you, Mr Chair. Look, I'm happy to take a call and clarify that matter, and I've just double-checked it between Mr Robertson's first contribution on that. The way that the wording of Section 17 works is that if, in fact, the application is returned as incomplete, then they have an ability to submit a new application, but within the original 6 months that was provided in 17.2 in the original bill. So it isn't circular, it can't go on and on, so they can submit a new application, but the provision in 17.3 and 17.4 is set out in the SOP make it clear that that can only happen within the timeframe set out, the original timeframe set out in 17.2, which is the original 6 months.
Anna Mackey.
I thank the Minister for that clarification. Unfortunately, Section 17.2 actually says the activity may continue without a consent for a prescribed period, or if no period is prescribed for the activity for 6 months from the date. One of the other issues I wanted to raise was the extensive use of regulation in this area, and right through the bill we talk about prescribed periods. Now, we were assured at Select Committee that that prescribed period would pretty much always be less than 6 months, but we don't have any certainty around that. The prescribed period could be longer than 6 months, in which case that would become a concern. And on the issue that the Minister has just clarified, and I thank you for doing that, I do think, and I'm going to have to go back and have another read through it in light of what the Minister said, I do think it might be good, because I know that Section 40, I think, which is around the incomplete applications, 42, doesn't have a time period in that, and I wonder whether for clarification it might be useful, because while I take on board what the Minister has said, I'm not necessarily convinced that and as I said, I'll have to go back and have a read of it, but maybe having a time frame in there just to clarify that there isn't a loophole would be in everyone's best interest, and we'll certainly go away and have a look at amendments, but the amendments might be better if they're drafted by the Minister and her very, very able at PCO, and that would be useful. But I do think, just to clarify, because when I read through it, we did a lot of work on Section 7, Clause 17 at Select Committee, it didn't jump out to me that it was absolutely clear that once it was sent back as an incomplete application, that time period still applied, and maybe in Section 42 that's where that clarification can be put in to say this doesn't now suddenly just become a never-ending, and you can, I thank the Minister for that. And coming back though to the issue around Clause 17, I think that is a very real issue about what that means, and I'm sorry the Minister didn't clarify the new Clause 17A, around the planned activities and what that might mean where permits are now currently being issued, because I know that there is deep concern amongst a lot of communities around the country that suddenly this is providing an awful lot more kind of legal protection around the permits that are given out under the Crown Minerals Act, or legal waiting and ability to go on perhaps without having to go through the processes that we're setting up here. And I would be, as I said, very, very concerned if on the east coast of the North Island, where the activity hasn't started, where structures are not in place, that the companies that have been issued the Crown Minerals permits were suddenly able to just go ahead and carry out drilling when in fact none of that's been done, and we understood that they would have to go through this process. So I look forward, either tonight or the next time we discuss this, the Minister actually being able to address that.
Gareth Hughes.
Thank you, Mr Chair. It's good to hear that contribution.